If you're looking for a way to keep your dog inside a boundary or maybe away from something inside the house while you're gone or even home, I have a solution for you. The Pawious wireless dog fence is a great addition to any dog family. Today we're going to unbox it. We're going to take a look at it. I'm going to go over how we train our dogs on a wireless fence, how easy it is, and just all the cool settings that are in this box. So let's get to it. When you open the box, I really appreciate how organized the entire system is. First, it has this remote with all of the buttons that you are going to need to program your wireless dog fence, regardless of what you are going to have it do. So that is really nice. It has a very nice screen that is also very easy to read. Next, you have the actual unit itself. And then there is a training guide. We'll go over a little bit of this today. And then there's also the user manual, which comes in handy for learning how to set everything up. It's going to tell you everything that you need to know. Next up is the dog collar, which is designed to fit just about any dog. So you can make an adjustment to the collar and then basically clip it so that it fits your dog perfectly. This unit also comes with a remote holder, which is going to make it really easy to put your remote anywhere that you want to put it in the house. And then last but not least, there are product accessories. This includes a charging cable, contact points, the test light tool, and boundary flags for training. We're going to go ahead and head inside to start the setup on this, and then we'll come back outside and Hayla will demonstrate for you how the fence works. Step one for setting up your fence is to get out the F900 Plus wireless electronic fence, which is also called a transmitter or a main unit. You'll simply want to go ahead and turn on your device, and you do this by pressing the on-off switch. It turns on really easily. This unit came fully charged. You can see that the display screen gives you a lot of information that you are going to use during the setup process. There is also a training mode button, fence mode button, the forbidden mode button, which I think is really interesting because you can actually program your collar so that your dog can't, like, say, get on your couch or go into the kitchen. Like, there's forbidden areas. Then you have your plus and negative signs, which are used for boundary adjustment. So how big or small your boundary circle is going to be. And there's also 16 levels in training mode for static stimulation. And then there is 8 levels in training mode for vibration. There's also a tone button. And then, of course, a pairing button. One of the other things that I really appreciate about this system is you can hook multiple collars or like receivers to it. So if you have more than one dog that you're trying to keep in a certain location, you can easily set that up with this unit. To begin the setup mode, we're going to go ahead and get out the receiver, and we're going to install the contact points. Now there's 2 sets of contact points in the unit, so you can use the short points or the long points. The points you use are going to depend on your dog. So, example, Halo is a German Shepherd with a ton of hair. So when I was first initially training her on fences years ago, obviously, like, I use a long point because she is a bigger dog and she's got a lot of hair. If you have a really hairy dog, you might find that it's just helpful to clip or like use like some clippers and shave or trim that neck hair so that you're making contact. You can use the Take Test light to install the contact. So there's this little keyhole and you just screw it on like this. So as I said, today we're going to go ahead and use those long points. The next step is to pair the transmitter and the receiver. In step 1, in any mode, you can long press the pairing button and it will enter the mode for pairing. You use the pairing button and you can just select a dog channel. So like I said, you can select dog 1, dog 2, or dog 3 because you can host multiple dogs on this unit. Now with the receiver, you want to start with it turned off and press and hold the power button on the receiver for 3 seconds so that it enters pairing mode. So it knows I'm not just turning on, I'm actually going to be looking for a place to pair. To complete pairing mode, press any of the tone, vibration, or the static simulation button on the transmitter within the 15 seconds of the collar blinking. Upon successful pairing, the transmitter's interface will switch back to the main screen and the receiver will emit a beep with a slow flashing green light. Now that your transmitter and receiver are paired, you can use the channels for training, fencing, and forbidden modes. Next, we're going to go ahead and set up the fence. So the operation of the fence mode is based on establishing an invisible circular boundary around the transmitter with a radius anywhere from 10 feet to 120 feet, which is great because we live on a farm, we have a nice big yard, and our dogs are able to roam all around and we don't have to worry about that. The way a wireless fence works, if you're not familiar, your dog, the boundary is set on the receiver and the receiver goes on the collar, which obviously goes on your dog. And when they travel near the boundary, there will be a series of events that happens. Once your fence is completely set up, you will put it into working mode and the system monitors your pet's position based on the fencing distance that you had predetermined. And it will issue warnings to your pet because they know that they are approaching their boundary. Now, for training purposes, you can take the red flags that come in your package and set them out so that your dog has a really good visual. When I was first training my dogs on a wireless fence, we utilized the flags and we would walk towards the fence with our dog. And then when we started to get kind of close to the flag, we would say, "Oh, I don't know about that." And the dog would continue forward. And when they would start to get too close to the boundary and it would start beeping, we would say like, "Oh no, like we can't go there." And we would just kind of like jog back into the yard or back towards the house and basically away from the boundary. Works like a charm. As they receive that progressive warning, things really intensify and then they get the memo and they come back into the yard. We did this one time with all of our dogs and they know how the boundary works. They understand it. Now, once your dog comes back into the boundary, all of the noise and the static and all of that stuff will stop. That is their reward. It's a release of pressure, if you know anything about training animals. So that is a release of pressure, and animals want to be where the pressure is released. So we're going to go ahead and enter the fence mode by pressing the fence button. Now your dog fencing system will display the working status and battery level for all 3 collars if you choose to install that many on your system. It will also tell you the preset distance for the established fence. When placing your transmitter in your house, it's important to remember a couple of things. One, you don't want it near anything that's going to maybe also be emitting waves. Think microwave, wireless phone, like cordless phone, things like that. You want to keep it away from that. It's also super ideal to place your transmitter on a table and not necessarily on a wall. Now, if you've never had a wireless system set up before and you're not sure where you might be running into interference, you can utilize the test mode to set up and track like the signal strengths and any gaps that there might be in the fence. Because again, it just really depends on what kind of structures and other technology is in the area. I know that sounds really persnickety, but it's actually not. It's easy to deal with. It's just something that you need to keep in mind. There is a way to set up the fence with 2 people, but there's also a way to set up the fence with 1 person, which is what we're demonstrating today. We talked a little bit about the wearing instructions, but you're going to put your receiver on the dog collar, and then you can just mark the dog collar and clip the tail off so that it fits perfectly on your dog. You don't want it too tight and you don't want it too loose. There definitely needs to be some contact. My general rule of thumb, I like to be able to kind of put 2 fingers, like a 2-finger width, or put my fingers in between the dog collar and the dog, and so that it's not too tight, like that they can breathe okay. You also want to just kind of randomly check the fitting. Collars, especially if you use them a little looser, can kind of spin around. And if you shave your dog's neck, like I mentioned, you're definitely going to want to keep that receiver in the area of the shaved hair on your dog. We have our transmitter and receiver set up, and Halo has her collar on. We're going to demonstrate for you how well this works. We are going to test it on the outside of the house, and I'll show you how we use the training flags to train the dog on this. If you're doing this by yourself like me today, I just like to hold it. You want to pretend like you're about a dog height. So I hold it right about here and I walk until I find the boundary, and then I install a flag. Halo, come on. Okay, back up. And we're going to install our flag. Just like that. I'm going to show you how it works with her. Come on. Halo, come here. She's super unsure because she knows. See, and she turned because the static, before it even beeped, the static indicated to her that she was in boundary. And so she immediately turns away. Like I said, so Halo's been trained for years, but we have trained 4 different large dogs on this system, and they were all super easy to train. They understood the assignment. Overall, this wireless system will range up to an acre, which is just huge. It's great for people with really big yards. And of course, like if you live on a farm like we do. The other feature that I really love about this collar is it, it tells you on the transmitter how far away your dog is. So you don't have to go looking out your windows, or if there's blind spots in your house where you can't see outside, the transmitter is going to tell you if the dog is in bounds and where at in terms of feet the receiver is from the transmitter. Best of all, there is no digging. There is no digging with this. It is a wireless fence. The first electronic fence we ever owned, I had to dig a line and like bury it, and it was terrible. It was always getting like destroyed, and we were always digging it up and trying to figure out where the fence was, like the barrier was broken, and then the cost of repairing the underground fence was really, really just too much when you can make an investment on something that is wireless. Technology is amazing, and this company definitely has put it to good use. The unit itself is very precise and accurate, so you don't have to worry about if the reading is wrong on the transmitter. It is on point. So you can rest easy knowing that your dog is exactly where the transmitter is telling you it is. Some other really cool features about this product are the stand just stands anywhere. Like, so you can put your remote just about anywhere. Makes it super handy. This should also work. So say if you're camping or you're going someplace like a park or someplace where there isn't a lot of fences, or you just want to keep track of your dog, you could also bring this along with you. You just have to know the footage that you want to set it at. But it's super easy to set up, guys. I did all of this with just a quick first read, and then went through the instructions, and the instructions are great. They work like a charm. Just really an excellent product in my opinion. So there you have it. Everything you can possibly need to know about this latest and greatest product by Pawious. I will say I have another collar by this brand, and it is the golden child of our household. So this is a great company. They produce products that last, and I personally, as a dog owner, really appreciate that. I hope this helps.